Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week of wrestling talk. This is the Matt and John Make a Podcast wrestling review show live stream here every Friday after Friday night Smackdown. And let's get right into Smackdowns, obviously, since that went off the air.
Actually, Matt, before we do that, I think we should discuss the passing of like Pat Patterson first.
Yeah.
Before we get
absolutely.
into any
My bad
of that. So obviously, guys, if you haven't found out WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson has passed away. I believe this happened on like Wednesday, I believe, and I believe also
or news broke early Wednesday.
I think he has been battling cancer the last few years here, but the official word came down then. And man, Matt, when you hear of like Pat Patterson, what's the first thing that kind of just pops into your mind when you think about him?
The Intercontinental Champion and a stooge. Two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, definitely for sure for me as well. Just because growing up in the Attitude Era, that's what I pretty much knew him as, and as I got older as well, I did some more research and just found out just how big of a territory star that he was. Also, Matt, I don't think it can be understated just how vital of an agent that this man was for the longest period of time, and actually too, Pat, he was the one who came up with the idea for the Royal Rumble match, which is, I think, probably WWE's best gimmick, you could say. And I think outside of like WrestleMania is probably their most popular event that they do it every single year. So he was really vital to that. And you just hear from all kinds of like current and past wrestlers who just rave about how he would put like matches together, and how he would have like finishes for those matches, and some and especially in the Hogan era was like so vital for like Vince there. So like he holds a really big standing as far as that's concerned. And man, like and as far as him as like Vince's stooges with him and Gerald Briscoe was some of the most hilarious TV. Like he played that role perfectly. Just hell, like, man, he was even getting in the ring in some aspects there, and he was in his like mid-50s at that point, and he was entertaining as hell there.
Yep.
I just can't say enough to how much as a kid that I enjoyed watching him, and just learning more and more about his overall legacy. And to he was an openly gay wrestler, which as like Matt, back in the 70s and the 80s was extremely taboo. Like just it wasn't accepting at all. And from some of the things that I have like read up upon, he did have a very hard time getting to finally breaking in over in California, and more specifically San Francisco. But he was so great as either as a talker or as a like worker that obviously his talent showed through, but I mean he's definitely a trailblazer as it comes for that. But then there's also some other stories, mostly concerning Roddy Piper and stuff like that that some people have like talked about, but I don't know too much about that. I just have kind of heard like whispers and stuff about like some of his antics, but to honor him, I think he was definitely accomplished a lot in the business for sure, and it's something that cannot be disputed whatsoever there, right?
Yeah, I pretty much said everything that I possibly could there. Nothing else more I think I can add to that. WWE did a great tribute package Wednesday, and again today on Friday they did the 10 bell salute moment of silence beginning of Smackdown this week or today, and I'm glad they had, and he even tweeted about it, Gerald Briscoe back for this, because I think he was recently released of his duties, if I'm not mistaken. So it's nice for them to bring him back for this, because obviously those two were together.
Absolutely.
So that was nice to see. They had Sergeant Slaughter out there. I can't remember anybody else noteworthy that was there, obviously besides the talent. But yeah, that great tribute video, perfect song. I didn't know he was able to sing that song.
I didn't either, and
that well, and
I tell you, man, and I texted you this like as I watched it. I was like, that brought a tear to my eye. That was just so beautifully done, and just kind of just encapsulates basically his whole entire life there. Just he lived a great life. Like he had
fun.
He had a freaking blast, man. And I tell you, just that's the one consistent thing that WWE always does well, is just these like video packages and these video tributes. They always hit them home.
Whether telling a story or
exactly
make you feel some sort of way, even if it's a tribute or leading up to a match, even a match that maybe is not like the biggest, but still they could still manipulate you to be like, oh, son of a bitch, I kind of care now. But that's besides the point in this context. But well done for WWE. They even throughout the night on SmackDown showing tweets from people, and even brought out the original Intercontinental Championship during that 6-man tag.
Retro as hell there. I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
For that tribute. And I guess we can, so that was nice to pay tribute to him throughout the night, and do something with that 6-man tag. That was nice way to do it, with doing something with this generation's IC champion. So it was good all around. So I think we said all we can say with Pat. So may he rest in peace. And 2020 can go screw itself.
Shove it. Yeah. And to if you guys also do not know, Matt, he actually tested positive for
Yes,
COVID.
I did.
So
I did.
so
Doing
so
fine.
yeah.
We're
Oh,
fine.
yeah. So yeah, everything's fine. Just it's just gotta get like through it, sort of thing. So as you said, Matt, 2020 can't just freaking shove it. So but but now let's talk about some wrestling, and we'll just jump right into SmackDown since it's the most freshest thing in our minds right now. And I felt like the show overall, anything not involving our tribal chief, which is kind of there for me anyways. But man, like that ending where Roman just loses it and just starts hitting Jay with the steel chair and just is hitting Kevin with the steel chair and grabs Kevin Owens by his beard, is just talking all sorts of shit to him. Just, I say it every single week, Matt. He can't do anything wrong. That just that's that as the old man would say. That's such great shit.
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah. The ending, even the beginning stuff with Kayla, the interview in the ring, and then Kevin Owens coming out, and Jay, screwing up again and taking the mic from Heyman, accepting the fight, the tag match then in the beginning, and Roman saying, "I'm not a savage. I'm not. There's a lady in the ring here. We're not going to fight." Like, just a good like heel way to get out of fighting.
Right.
I which was good. And in the ending, just beating the crap out of Kevin, and then turning around, beating out of Jay after he said there's going to be,
consequences
for your actions. And you think, oh, it's just him start coming out later and with the making it a handicap match, but no, there's more to it.
It just shows you just how like ruthless Roman is. It's like he doesn't care, like if it's family, if it's friends, if it's like if you step out of line for him, he's going to have to do what he's going to have to do. And it's just, it's like, honestly, Matt, as far as from a heel, like I can't remember the last person who I can remember as a heel who I could like understand his point of like view as a babyface, because it's like Rocky.
Rocky agrees.
Rocky definitely agrees, but it's great TV. I mean, and just I'm more interested to see once Jimmy is finally healthy. How does he get involved in this whole angle here? Because man, it just I'm just very intrigued to see where this goes. And obviously they are going to be doing Reigns versus KO at TLC
match, yes.
Yeah, which that should be a ton of fun there. And KO is going to take an ass kicking. Like it ain't gonna be pretty.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a war.
Absolutely.
I like Jay went for the tag and Roman was like, nope, let me just go and beat the crap out of Otis.
God,
he should have done.
And he beat the shit out of him. Like I was like, Jesus Christ! Like he was laying that shit in.
Should have been they play around with the DQ aspect.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I was like, so we're not gonna make this a DQ here? No,
they said because before that happened, early up to it, I forget the exact timing. Cole or somebody said, Roman and legal, yeah, but it's still like
right. It just, but like
they stated so it you go, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but then you think, oh, wait a minute, it's never like that in the past.
No, it's just like they change these freaking rules so much. I'm like, guys, can we just be consistent here and not
Everybody
just
does.
yeah, and not just
At least I, they I'll give them that they try to explain it and actually said something like as it before right before it happens, so like it doesn't just happen and you go, wait, what? You look around like, isn't that a DQ? Like they try to explain it, but it's still not consistent. But they
as the old saying as the old saying goes, man, you can still dress up a pig, but it's still a freaking pig. So it just it doesn't make any more sense, but
then I
it is
think
what it is.
they messed up. Something was off with the ref. He called the match off when Roman hit
Yeah,
Kevin Owens. But
yeah,
the bell didn't ring, so there was a something was mistimed, I guess, with the ref and saying that. And then Roman got the guillotine, and then the match was called off.
yeah.
That
I didn't get that either. That
something was off, had to have been. But
it just
the
like
finish,
okay,
the finish, I like the scenario. Roman not giving a rat's ass.
I'm fine with that. It just
I
like
think
how, yeah, like how does Roman putting the freaking guillotine on KO warrant a DQ? But basically Roman just beating Otis within an inch of his freaking life on the outside. Oh no, that's fine there. You know, it just but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
The story of what they were telling was fine. It was not 100% right.
Right.
Like the A to B is fine. It was in between that got effed up somehow.
All right. And just one other thing that I wanted to like talk about on this show, Matt, is why is Bailey being submitted by
That was
Nat?
just the one thing I did not like on this show.
Like and Matt, I did not even like know this. Bailey has lost 9 straight matches. 9 now. Like I just
Well, it's
like,
two in the right. Wait,
and this is and this and
really
this
not?
yeah and this is per of Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Bailey has lost 9 straight matches now. I'm like, this is why people can't get over, man. Just the stupidity of this. This woman was the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, and she has lost 9 straight matches. Like, this is shit that just annoys me. Between this,
I'm perplexed by the 9,
yeah,
but okay.
Between this match and champions losing, why is Sammy taking the pin in a 6-man tag that involved Nakamura and Dolph freaking Ziggler here? Like, why is Sammy getting pinned there? Like, just
Yeah.
that annoys me there. You know, how do you feel?
I totally forgot about the Sammy thing. I wasn't like I get what they're doing, Sammy. So I didn't get the outrage right away. Bailey,
it just there's to me there is zero defending why Bailey is.
I'm more upset with I'm more upset with Bailey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
there, if I want to play devil's advocate with something you said, right? That the only saving silver lining with Bailey getting over is what she was technically already over. So losing, it's not going to hurt her getting over, but it's going to hurt the credibility,
right? And
putting Bianca over. So that's the issue. That was me playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, because like now it's like, because now this feud just doesn't feel as important now. It's like, okay, if like Natty can beat her that easily, then why can't Bianca beat her that easily? It's
Yeah.
just it's just simple things like this that like just have Bailey go over strong here. There's zero reason why Natty should be winning this match. It makes no sense whatsoever. The only thing I could possibly think of is like they probably are preparing her to get a short-term title feud with Sasha. And even that, it's like who cares because everyone knows or probably are getting Bianca versus Sasha at Mania. So it's just a whole bunch, just a waste of time. But those were to me, man, the most important things on the show.
Um,
Everything else was just kind of there.
no, I enjoyed. No, you didn't. I like the
Yeah.
Bailey Carmella segment. Um,
Yeah, that came off as cringe for me, and like more so on Carmella. I just get the sense from her she's trying to play a character and not just being herself. Whereas Sasha, I feel like is being more of herself here,
I
sort of thing. It's just I'm just not vibing
no,
with
I buy
Carmella.
Carmella. No, I buy Carmella as the uh what she's trying to portray. I can buy that. Just like seeing her like social media stuff and then this character is kind of like turned up that compared to like what her character was before.
Mhm.
I I'd like it in the terms of that, like before she was with R-Truth, she wasn't taken as seriously. Like she was more of a comedy type of
Mhm.
thing. In this, I think makes her more serious and more of that like I'm a woman. Look at what I'm wearing, and I'm just gonna act like somebody you just don't like if you saw like a guy walking down the street with her and
Mhm.
like they're both what oh wait no, you know what she reminds me of? You ever saw the SNL sketch? It was like two a-holes. It was Kristen Wiig and Jason Sudeikis. They were like two a-holes, like they were at one they were at a nativity scene. They were just annoying as hell and just annoying
I'm
people.
picturing that. I'm picturing it right now, and
Like
I
that's who she
already hate
reminds
it. I
and that's
already
who
hate
she
it.
and that's who she reminds me of, and I think that comes off. I I like it, and then Sasha's still great in this. Um, this improved the feud for me in my eyes. I thought it was good for the most part. And then moving on, I like and I kind of like they're incorporating um, uh, Blake and what's his face Cutler, giving him something to do.
And to the surprise of like no one, Riker is nowhere to be found.
Um, and I'm glad they're doing something. I think Sean Ross Sapp said it, and I kind of agree with him a little bit that it kind of freshens up Corbin a little bit from just
Mhm.
being the king, like something else to do. Then he's just like a king.
Mhm.
There's actually like a stable here, and it gives again Cutler, like they're doing something with Cutler and Blake, which I keep praising SmackDown for. They're doing something with people. They're like they found something to help actually reestablish them, and I'm glad that the announcers said, "Hey, this." They didn't go for the whole show. Like, who are these people? Like, we can clearly see that they are Cutler and Blake, and then they actually mention, oh, Blake and Murphy. There's actually history there. Blake and Murphy were actually tag champs in NXT, so they
Mhm.
didn't like blatantly like pretend we don't know that. They
Yeah,
actually,
they do that so damn often, and I'm like, guys, can you stop treating us like fucking
so I'm
imbeciles here.
glad we did that. So there is history already off the bat between one of these new guys and Murphy. So there's actually there is a story there that they can tap into.
Yeah.
Which, unlike like Retribution,
Raw.
what show?
Well, yeah, and
like
yeah,
especially with Mia losing her mask like within the first like 10 seconds, and it's like don't say it's Mia Yim. Don't say
just,
it. Yeah.
I'm just like that shit right there. It just basically is basically Vince telling his audience, "You people are a bunch of fucking idiots," because clearly we're not going to know who Mia Yim
It amazes me that on this show they don't do that, and it's obvious. Like they said, "Oh, yeah, that's Blake. Him and Murphy have history together. This is not just random people. This we know. You know who they are." I don't know how SmackDown and Raw are so much different.
Yeah, and
it blows my mind. SmackDown is just consistently better, and this is why I know. And even though if maybe you know, like everything on the show, but everything on the show had a purpose, and it was there's everything, even the bad things on this show are so much better than Raw. Consistently, week in and week out, stuff happens on SmackDown. Stuff is happening in Raw. It's just kind of like
just trying to hit through 3
minus one or two things on the show on Raw, but like I don't know, SmackDown just every week is just I enjoy it. It's consistent,
and
stuff moves.
And like for Raw, Matt, let's just go over the most important things here. So basically, we're going to be getting AJ versus Drew at TLC, which should be pretty good there. So I'm at least looking forward for that. That's there.
Good. Yeah. Jeff Hardy almost killed himself.
Yeah, Jeff should not be taking those bumps. Like they just like his head literally
landed on the steps.
Yeah, I'm just like, Jeff, why? Just why? But
as they set up that table too close.
Just very, very, very reckless.
I like the Orton Fiend stuff. One of the few things on the show. I just like the psychology with those two. I mean, to me, I enjoyed it. I know it maybe was a little 50-50 in terms of liking of people, but I still enjoyed it. I mean, I look forward to it because it's the Fiend. A Slapjack beat Ricochet. Hey, they got a win. Whoop-de-damn-do. Asuka and Lana beat Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler. Cedric.
That was pretty much it. Yeah,
Cedric Alexander beat Xavier Woods. I'm glad Cedric got a win, and I don't know I'm interested to see what they're doing with him because he was really celebrating and leaving MVP and Shelton. But at least Cedric got the win. And then AJ Styles got, like we said, #1 contender. Dana Brooke beat Reckoning / Mia Yim. I don't know why. Right off the bat. And then Sheamus and Drew McIntyre won their match by DQ. Okay, so yeah, that was wrong. Okay, now on to some actually good shows here, and yes, SmackDown was a really good show. I am not bearing that, but now let's get into Winter is Coming
Matt, or winter has come. As we speak now.
Winter's arrived and winter has went through.
Yeah. I will say this about Dynamite. First hour, nothing to really be impressed with, if I'm being perfectly honest. But man, that second hour, holy shit. I could be wrong, man, but this was probably one of the more like noteworthy shows of 2020. Hard to really think of anything off the top of like my head. From like past shows this year that just like immediately.
Yeah, I don't for any wrestling show, I don't think, just for the buzz it was on Wednesday night. Yeah, I don't think you can say anything. I mean,
and obviously, I mean, like, so like two, I would say two really big things obviously came on the show, and that was the debut of the icon. It's Sting and Tony Schiavone. I'm glad that they when he came out, mad that it was only Tony Schiavone who was calling that, and not like JR and Excalibur.
JR added stuff after,
yeah.
But yeah, saving it for Tony for at least the initial thing was, that was nice.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, at like first glance, I thought I was like Glacier because of all of the snow.
That would go over like a fart in church.
Right. I'm just like, okay, this is kind of weird. And then I saw a crow. I'm like, okay. And then all you see is thing popping up, and he comes out, and Tony is just losing his goddamn mind. It was awesome. It brought me back so many memories. Watch him Nitro, and him just losing his goddamn mind anytime Sting came down to attack the NWO and shit like that. But so Sting comes down, and he stares down Arn Anderson. He stares down Dustin Rhodes, Cody, and then he goes over to Darby Allin, which that was really damn cool right there. And it was announced shortly after this here, man, that Sting has signed a multi-year deal with the company, and from all indications are he's going to be a like regular on their show, which really interests me to see what they're going to actually do with him, because I don't think he's going to be an active wrestler, because
no, he shouldn't.
No, well, and two, he has spinal stenosis, so basically he can't take any more bumps here. So if he is in anything, I think he's gonna be involved in like 6-man tags, where he's just basically going to be on the outside, and he'll just come in on like hot tags and just do something like that. But I definitely think though that him possibly managing Darby makes way too much sense, I feel, right now, because I definitely feel he's going to be definitely in that like Arn, Tully, I'm like Jake Roll with this company, and people were like saying, oh well, on AEW's website they have like Sting's name with like records and shit like that, and they're like, oh, like Tully and them don't exactly have that. I'm like, guys, he has spinal stenosis, he can't bump. Like, I don't care what the circumstances are. I mean, like, unless I physically see this man actually bump, I have no reason to believe that he's going to be a full active wrestler. He's
more managerial stuff, and maybe throw punches and
Right.
and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm gonna be interesting to see what he does or how they use him. That's the big thing. Yeah, he's here,
Mhm.
but he needs to be used. He needs to be used right.
Mhm.
Like
And I can say, man, I get a really good laugh out of people who were saying, "Oh, this is TNA 2.0, like bringing back old guys to be involved." I'm like, guys, there's a difference between being on the show compared to being booked as like the guy. Like Sting is not going to be winning a- any titles. He's not going to be the most important guy on the show every single week. Like that's the major difference between TNA and 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 all elite wrestling. Like they're not making these guys at the top of the freaking card and building around them as a champions like TNA did with like Hogan and Sting and Flair and basically all of these guys who are well past their primes and shit for this. So I think I think I think we all need to have some common sense when it comes for that. Do you agree with me on that take there?
yeah, for yeah, I can't really uh say anything to dispute that.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, yeah, AEW has older wrestlers, but they're not, at least lately, um, not being overly booked now.
No, and excuse me, and I mean like, and I definitely feel like that like having these legends around isn't like 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 man, would you say guys such as like Taz and Jake and Tully and are they are they hurting the actual show or
They're
are
they're
they
they're either not doing anything or adding.
right
And I
exactly
mean, I
because
think Jake's more of not doing anything right now,
right
but
but
he's not really hurting.
and especially if like you look at Adam Taz, who he has done wonders for Cage, and I'm really interested to see how he's going to work out with like powerhouse Hobbs there, who I think fits him perfectly, and also Ricky Ricky Starks as well there. So yeah, that was a really cool moment there with Sting, and it was also announced for next week that Tony Schiavone will be having a sit down interview with Sting. So I'm very interested and excited to see what he has to say, what he has to say next week. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they actually have on planned. And something else for next week as well, Matt. We saw like Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian tonight, where where Jericho won with some interference from the inner circle, but he
Some
yeah some but he announced that he's getting tired of the constant infighting within the inner
yeah,
circle. So for next week, he basically gave an ultimatum: either we put our differences aside or the inner circle is over. So this definitely makes me think that that they might be writing off Jericho here possibly next week, or someone else is getting kicked out. Which the if it's if it's not Jericho, Matt, has to be Sammy, right?
Yeah, I was, yeah, I don't think, obviously MJF's not getting kicked out or
No.
Wardlow. I think it's Sammy. I think they planted the seeds with the towel being in Sammy's hand when Jericho saw it. Yeah, I think it's Sammy. What I would do, how I would book it, I would, have Jericho like start talking bad, like MGF, making you think, oh, he's gonna kick MGF out, and then at the last second, without like hitting or telling somebody or Hager or whoever, saying like a phrase or the cue, like we're gonna take out the cause here, and then all of a sudden you see Hager or somebody take out Sammy. Similar, like for some reason, what pops in my head for this, like how you would, I think it goes down is when in like 02 and Shawn with Michaels was in the NWO and they kicked Booker out.
Yeah,
Like something like that. Like you didn't see it. You saw it coming, but you didn't see it coming and stuff. Like the quick swerve, even though it's not a swerve, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's how I would do it. And then you get a camera shot of MGF with like that sneaky smile, and then maybe that leads to a match between the two. Later,
I definitely feel like that it's probably time that they start to slowly turn Jericho face here, because he has really feuded with everyone at this point. And I feel like it would do him some good to go away for a bit. And something else too, Matt. Like with Jericho specifically, he looks fat, like pudgy.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
I think ever since he started, you can tell. And
he's getting bigger. He's getting bigger and bigger. And
I think that's just age.
And two, he doesn't need to be in the ring every single week. Like, we don't need to see him. Like, he should be on that freaking like Lesnar schedule where he's wrestling on very special occasions. I don't think that is a bad thing. First year, fine, because you're because like you want to
champion,
yeah. So I completely understand that, but as of now, I just don't think he is needed to be wrestling every single week. And now I think it's time that they probably write him off for a little bit and have him come back as a very hot baby face. And I think he could do some really good stuff, whether it is with an MJF, with a Kenny. It's just like I think there is more like fresh feuds for him as a babyface than currently as a heel now, because he's kind of has exhausted a lot of those feuds now. So I feel like that's probably is the next way to go there. And the other thing before we get into the title match here, or two things actually. Why are we getting Orange Cassidy versus MJF? God,
so I had to watch the show on the YouTube clips today because I surprisingly didn't have enough time. I could, yeah. Anyways, see, and I already knew the thing is, I already knew what happened Wednesday night, so I knew this and I watched it. Leading up to the end of this, I like the Jungle Boy Sammy interaction on the outside, and then I liked MGF pushing Jungle Boy when they were on the top rope, and they were doing like a suplex, and Sammy got knocked out too.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice way to do it for that. But then the orange, why?
I just yeah, I'm just like, guys, like
they could have had anybody else.
Yeah, I'm just like, they are just so dead set on pushing this guy as a serious wrestler right now. And I'm telling you guys right now, he is not going to get over it as that, because honestly, I think if we had crowds right now, I think if we had crowds right now, he would be losing a lot of steam right now, just because what made him special was appearing sporadically, showing up sporadically, and now he's wrestling full-time matches, being booked in these title matches, being booked in these big spots. I'm like, no, like that's no.
I didn't particularly enjoy him before. That was lost in translation, but what I think I made this comparison before. It was like didn't like Miley, annoyed with Miley Cyrus when she like the Party in USA Miley Cyrus, and then she went out like weed and just crazy Miley Cyrus. I long the days when the earlier stuff, and that's what I feel like with Orange Cassidy. I missed the earlier stuff in comparison to what we're getting now.
That was fine because he was actually cool and it was fun. And now
maybe it wasn't the best, but it was suited for his gimmick, and now he's eliminated Wardlow. Like what the
it just and two, no one believes that like this match becomes extremely predictable now. Like
unless
why would no, because to me that freaking diamond ring is a big part of MJF's character. Like he uses that thing in basically every single match that he is in. Like it's
so help me if like Sammy inadvertently cost MJF the match, and OJ Cassidy wins somehow. I'm like,
it just like that will definitely tell me that like they're trying way too hard to get this guy over. I'm like, guys, just keep it simple. Like what you were doing with him when he first debuted was how you should be poking him, and now we're just overexposing him. So but yeah, so that will be set up for next week. And the other thing that we also got on the show was Britt Baker versus some chicks whose name
Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, Layla Hirsch. Yeah, I didn't have any interest in this match whatsoever until Thunder Rosa showed up at the very end.
Too much offense on Britt, because I don't know how long I missed when I watched it.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. Like, I didn't really understand that, but
judgment until like since you saw like everything. But yeah, I do agree that I like the Thunder Rosa fighting.
Yes, right. Yeah. And to me that was good. So we're obviously are going to be getting a future match between these two, which I'm hoping that goes good. But as long as Thunder Rosa's there's always a pretty good chance it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
so
with this too, I expect a half decent match there.
Right. Absolutely.
Rick Knox does not know how to hold people back. So he's just like, I gotta laugh at. But besides, that last part I did enjoy.
And now let's get on to the most important thing on the show, and that was the AEW Championship match between the current AEW champion John Moxley versus Kenny Omega, and we also saw on commentary once again Don Callis, which I gotta say, Matt, once I saw him again, I was like, something's happening. And I'll say this, for the match itself, I didn't think it was anything special. It was still good, no lie. These guys just beat the shit out of each other for sure, but you could definitely tell they weren't emptying out all of their like bags of like tricks here. So to say, because I definitely think that these guys are obviously are going to be having a second match here, but I
would assume.
say what, man?
I would assume.
Yeah. Obviously Kenny, he wins, no surprise. We all pretty much expected that. However, what was unexpected was interference from like Don Callis, and after Kenny wins the title, they bolt out of Daly's place, get in an SUV, and Alex Marvez says, "Hey, can we have a word?" And basically said, and Don Callis said, "You can find out what Kenny's thoughts are on Tuesday night." And we're like, "What, Tuesday night?" "On Impact Wrestling." I'm like, so Impact and AEW have a partnership, and they're going to force us to watch Impact on Tuesday. And to what Matt's reaction was, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to remember on Tuesdays that there's Impact.
Oh, I will
I don't even know what
you.
time
If I have to suffer, you have to suffer too.
Is it 9? Is it 8 o'clock? I don't even know what time it's
8 o'clock.
Oh, I'll be damned. Yeah, and apparently we can only watch it here on Twitch, which I'm just like,
yeah. But man, I tell you, this definitely had a lot of people talking though, for sure, Matt.
yeah,
It further just explains that Tony Khan is more than open to be working with pretty much anyone. Obviously he has a partnership with like AAA and also with the NWA, and I gotta say, man, for the one positive that will definitely come from this partnership is the AEW women's division for sure. Because, man, like outside of WWE, no one has a deeper women's class than Impact does, and that should definitely help on them for sure.
That they need, as much as there's positives. I think the negative, the cautious optimism here is not to overly go in on like just showcasing Impact women, because you don't want the same thing with like the NWA Women's Champion, when that stuff is booked better than your actual women's division.
Yeah.
So if they integrate it in a better way, then yay. You don't want to go too far in on everybody showing up.
No,
I definitely think different, like there's a fine line between crossover and not cross. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time though too, I think we all need to be like realistic about this. Like if we just look at Impact's roster, it's like not very deep. Women's division for sure, but they're like, if we were talking say a year ago when they had with the likes of Tessa
Yeah, the
and
timing
stuff.
timing
Yeah,
is off. I
yeah,
mean,
right.
for that aspect.
Well,
Um,
into also Brian Cage, he was there. Seidel, he was there. Who are obviously now in AEW now. So, it just it's not as appealing now. It's still a really big deal, and like more so for Impact because now this is really is going to help them out. And some of the things I'm interested to see though are do we see a mini reunion of the Bullet Club? Because as like Matt Gallows are currently over on Impact. Do they join with Kenny? Do we see something there forming a partnership? I could possibly see that. So it's just
it, w-
yeah,
wouldn't it wouldn't surprise me.
right.
Um, I I wouldn't say it wouldn't surprise me if them with
Mhm.
factions galore. But I think you can easily cross brand that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so too.
I think that works. I think again, I'm saying you got to be careful of how much is cross branded and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, I think you can have like a Thunder Rosa Serena deal where there's stuff appears on both shows and some want to go for both, but you need a balance.
Well, and I've
Balance it out, and then it's fine. And then it's fine. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I'm not. It's interesting. Like I think everybody's excited, but like you don't want to like do it. You have a good opportunity here. You just want to make sure you do it right, so it is great for a longer period of time. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, but
God, I'm
I'm
just
not.
here.
I'm not expecting a full-on invasion sort of thing because to me that has been completely played out. We've seen that way too many times. Like what I want to see is something similar to how like Ring of Honor and like New Japan has, where like they basically just like combine rosters and like have like super shows here and there, and like they will like incorporate some people on
Yeah,
those shows.
there's a partnership, but it's not overly. It's not Impact on AEW and AEW on Impact.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can. Yeah, I think this can help Impact more than Impact helping
Yeah.
AEW. Um, so it's interesting to see what they do going forward and see uh,
And
the
and
interactions. But
yeah. And something else too that someone was also bringing up is like it's like okay, so say like so we now have NWA and now Impact who are now working with all elite wrestling now. If you are an independent wrestler, that has to be incredibly appealing to you if you sign with either one of these companies that at some point you're going to be getting on like national TV. Like wouldn't you say there because and someone will say oh but like NXT is on TV, but at the same time, their freaking roster is so damn large, so damn deep at this point that it's gonna be really hard to get on TV. Whereas I feel like if you are
I
on an Impact or something like that, there's probably a better chance, and you
I
get more noticed.
I would, yeah, if because I know WWE has worked with obviously Evolve and those like smaller shows. I think if they had, and they kind of started doing this, but it's teased. But if like those shows, those independent shows, like aired on the network, like even on a delay or whatever, right? And you could go back and watch those. I think that would help too, because you would say that, oh, there's the network of millions of people watching, like they could be more exposed, so that would help. But then you have now all these partnerships, I think has that effect more if you're that, yeah. It's all about this. Does the talent want to get to be in WWE? Like, what's the talent's ultimate? What do they want? What fits them?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I try not to, like. You always get the people that like so and so is signed with WWE, and you're like, why are you signing with the damn? I don't like.
I mean, it just depends what your motivations are. Like, if you just want, I mean, like, it is just your freaking dream to sign there, fine, all the power to you. But I feel like if you want to actually make a name for yourself, I feel like you should wait as long as possible and try to up your value as much as possible, because then at that point you would think, oh, okay, I give like myself more like leverage whenever I do decide that I want to actually go somewhere.
It all depends on what you want. And if like people get to attack first with like, why do you sign with them? We should be like, you're all gambling on yourself. And if it works out, it doesn't work out. Like
well,
I think the perfect example is Drew McIntyre. Like he always wanted to be WWE, get made in WWE, didn't work out the first time, and he went to other smaller promotions.
Evolve. He was in Evolve, Impact. He was on the like UK indie scene. Like he pretty much
he built.
He had to start all over again, and then he became so big that WWE came calling again, and now he's outside of like Roman Reigns is probably the most important guy in the company.
You know, they always have people like watching stuff, and I forget he said in documentary. Was it Regal?
No,
who was
it was he was over in NWA. He was their main producer. I forget his name. Exactly, but yeah, it was.
Goes, oh, hey, I think was it called Triple H, whatever. It's like, hey, take a look at Drew again. So like stuff like that, like it is what it all. It's like again, it's all personal preference. If somebody signs with whoever, like,
well, and
who are we to say?
Well, and
it just works out, right?
Well, and like for him specifically, it should show anyone that hey, if someone lets you go, you know, you can always come back. It's just a matter of
burn bridges.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example. Like just do not try and piss off so many people that you could just completely eliminate that personal option there, right? Exactly. So yeah, but yeah, as far as this show, Matt, on like Winter is Coming, I really enjoyed it. Even though like first hour was kind of like hit and like miss there, but second hour for sure really damn good. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen for next week. They have like we have we have the Bucks versus TH2. We have MJF versus Orange Cassidy. And we also have that sit down with Sting as well. And I think there's something else also lined up on that show as well. So yeah, a very strong show there. And lastly, guys, now we're going to be getting into some NXT talk and also giving our predictions predictions for NXT War Games, which is on Sunday. Which and also, by the way, guys, we are definitely doing a live stream on that once the show goes off on Sunday. So definitely stay tuned for that there. So Matt, this week for NXT, I would say outside of pretty much determining who would have the advantage in like war games for the women, not too much else happened on the show, just basically just like button everything up for or like war games. I felt
no, there's no stuff. Little stuff has happened. Some small positive stuff on this show. We'll get into that because I know what one of them that is a big deal. But we opened the show. We had tag team match between Santos Escobar and Mendoza of Legado del Fantasma versus Leon Ruff and Damian Priest with Johnny Gargano on commentary. Leon Ruff and Damian Priest get the win. Pretty solid match. And after the match, Priest and Ruff are staring down Johnny at the commentary table, and there's two more screams, Ghostface, whatever, standing behind him. So it looks like, including what everybody assumes is Austin Theory, there's I think somebody else, and I guess there's three because he had to post a picture of him and three Ghostface. So I guess one's Austin Theory and the other two I don't know off the bat. So I'm interested to see who those are.
Yeah, I wonder if it might be that like newly signed Impact tag team who just signed with the company I'm like Rascals. I think definitely a possibility because as far as anyone currently in the Performance Center, no one really comes
there's
to
no
my mind, but
other team that was out. That's
no, not that I know of. So I mean, and hell, it could be someone who we never even heard of before, and they're just just giving someone a chance or a big
break. I don't know if they're a tag team or not, but I mean, with the timing of Rascal signing,
right?
I mean, you put that thought in
that was made official, I think, either like yesterday or on Wednesday. So I would not be surprised if they are involved. And by the way, you had another tag team, and holy shit, we have like what five or six tag teams now in
and there's two tag team, technically two feuds going on. That was one of the things I'm saying. I was alluding to of.
I just wish that this show wasn't on Wednesday night because I would like to watch the show live, but I'm not watching this over Dynamite. So, but yeah, I'm sorry,
I always have to do that.
You're damn right. But
do that.
So obviously Leon and Damian Priest win. They talk back and forth with like Johnny and as like you said, Matt, those two scream masks were in the background there. So we'll find out.
Another one appeared in the match,
right?
In the crowd. So I think there is three, I guess. We see nice video vignette of Undisputed Era, just talking about themselves
yeah.
as a group, and then promoting the War Games on Sunday.
Yeah.
So another well done vignette.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Okay, we then had Cameron Grimes versus Austin Gray. Grimes had the bag with the strap in it. He kind of just leaves it on the turnbuckle. But Cameron Grimes gets the win as expected, leading into Sunday. And after match, he takes the strap, and he's thinking, was he? I can't remember. Was he hitting him with the strap or trying to get the strap on him? But as you know, Grimes is talking and gloating. We don't see his Loomis trades places with Gray and has the strap on, and Grimes
scares,
back
it scares the shit out of him
and runs. I like that ending part with Loomis just coming in and just appearing out of nowhere.
Yeah. Nothing really to really talk about here. This is just building up for the match on Sundays.
Then we got Jake Atlas versus Tony Nese, showcasing Jake Atlas.
I would imagine he's gonna be getting a title shot here soon. So
eventually, yeah.
So yeah.
I still love his cartwheel DDT. That's a thing of beauty. Amazing that he's never effed that up yet. Like,
yeah,
if you mess that up, you're really gonna mess that up. He has an interview with Mackenzie Mitchell after, really hyped, saying it's been taking a couple steps back, but a couple steps forward. How things bad have happened, but he's turned stuff around. He's not standing here as cruiserweight champion, but he's picking himself back up with this win. This is just the beginning, and trying to keep the momentum there. I guess eventually after Santos Escobar. Then we get Pat McAfee with Dunn and the tag team champions out. McAfee's cutting a great promo as always. Just starts off with just tells Vic Joseph to shut up because he sucks, like right off the bat. And I think he did a good job of paying respects to Pat Patterson, and then turning it around and then switching right back into, the heel promo.
And I'm not sure if you saw this today, but like CM Punk really put him over on Twitter today. So
everybody else,
right? I was like, damn, he must be doing something really well if Punk is putting him over. But yeah, really solid promo as always. With him, just give the guy a microphone and he's gonna grab your attention. I continue to say, outside of Roman Reigns and in this company, he's the most consistent guy that they got, and that was proven here once again.
Put over the War Games match. Just great, great promo. And unfortunately, right after this was the Sting debut, because this was
I guarantee you once Pat found that out, he was just probably like, fuck. It just
if whoever was following this, the beginning of this next tag match was screwed. But before that, we had Xylee and Boa pretty much having Chinese water torture here, getting waterboarded here with
this is just straight out of a of a freaking Asian
Old
torture
school,
chamber, I guess. Like it was just like
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 just drowning themselves, being forced
just
to like
drawing themselves and going through these insane trials. So
because they
and
keep screwing up.
right, and I'm guessing that their like leader or something is a female. So
Yeah, I thought that was made clear last week.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, so I'm very I'm interested, but at the same time, I'm like I'm not exactly sure what the longevity of this thing could be, but hell,
Uh,
we'll see what happens. So
Asian team, another smaller faction between, I guess, maybe Boa, Xia Li, and
and
whoever
how
the mystery
how
person
they're
is.
finally doing something with Xylee
Yeah,
because I feel like that she has been down in NXT forever now. So
yeah.
I'm glad that they're finally
Yeah.
giving her something.
Um, yeah. So we're interested to see when the next step of this, when the reveal is going to be of who the mystery leader is.
Yeah.
Then we got the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Everrise. What was supposed to be the match, but then Imperium came and attacked Everrise before the match. Pretty much, they take the mic and says who they think they are. You know, running around here because the tag division is theirs. Um, so instead of Everrise, it's now Imperium versus Grizzled Young Veterans. I thought this was a very solid tag team match between these two teams because they're really good. I really enjoy this match. This ended in no contest because when they were battling outside, Everrise came back after being attacked, and so those three teams are in a feud here, and I'm saying, holy crap, we have a division.
I know
Stop happening.
It's just like and I say this every single week. It's not hard just building up a few teams now. It gives you options now, and not just like feuding the same teams raw every single week, because now okay, like say they completely exhaust all one option. Now they have another team who is ready to have a tag team title feud.
There's
So
three
now
teams.
right, exactly. So it's just we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long they'll actually keep this at pace, because to me this has been a long time coming, because if we're being perfectly honest, the tag division has been pretty much in like no man's land for about a full year now, give or take. So
That's fair.
yeah, so
They always seem to like reload. I always say it's divisions, and it's coming back up.
Triple H, he is a big tag team wrestling fan. It's the old man who just can't stand it, and I think that's perfectly evident here.
Then we get Timmy Thatcher with another Thatch can talk about distractions, and as he's talking to camera, cuts back and just Ciampa's just standing in the ring. I love it.
Hi, fellas.
Hi, how you doing? About distractions, like what about distractions? Thatcher is Ciampa's like, I'm here to learn. Just like I have no problem with you. Pretty much just trying to avoid anything with Ciampa. And then I think Ciampa takes down Thatcher, and Ciampa says, lesson number one here, don't be an ass. I enjoy that. Then the student attacks Ciampa from behind. and then I think they double team Ciampa and knock Ciampa down. So that's their lead up for Sunday. And we get the main event, the ladder match for the War Games Advantage, Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez.
And holy shit, the babyface team won the advantage at War Games.
You just felt that was coming because they still didn't know who the fourth person. It's obviously was going to be Io after the attack.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, Io is going to appear at some point and help Shotzi win, cost the heels, which did obviously did happen, which was nice. I think a solid ladder match between the two.
And now that'll kind of lead us right into like War Games, and we'll just kind of get into our predictions there. So since we're on this match, Matt, who are you feeling here? I kind of feel like that this is geared towards the baby faces winning here. From what I'm feeling right now.
I feel. I think I'm feeling since I think the baby faces won, got the advantage. I'm thinking somehow the heels win.
Yeah, I'll stick with the baby faces here. So obviously, Rhea, Io, Shotzi, and Ember. So, but man, this is going to be an insane match. Like I'm like this has the potential to be their best women's War Games just based on the people involved here. Rhea is just going to kill a whole bunch of people. In this match.
I'm going. I feel that Raquel is going to shine in this match. Maybe she even gets the pinfall at the end. The reason why I say the Hills winning because I feel more of the Undisputed Era winning and then getting their revenge on McAfee.
You know what? I think I'm seeing it differently for them because I think if you want to since like McAfee's boys are brand new, I feel like that they kind of need that win more. And I mean, because I feel like if you pin McAfee's team, it's like, okay, we're kind of taking a little bit of credibility away from these guys, and they've only have been together not even 2 months now. So I think what they should do, McAfee's team wins in the like women's match. I don't think it really matters, honestly. But I think it's more of a like big deal in the men's match if like McAfee's team wins, since they are a like actual faction.
You know what? Damn it! I think he convinced me. I think I'm switching back.
Yeah.
On both. I think I'm on both. I'm gonna be mad if somehow but I will come on here and say I was right the first time if it happens. Either one.
All right.
I will cut a Hill promo in terms of I told you I was right the first time. It's what matters. But I could see him doing anything on both, honestly. But but this one should be one should be fun too. I say they open with the women's match.
I feel like like a men's match should definitely close the show. To me, it's by far the hottest thing that they got going. They'd be stupid to have this.
I think you bookend with both War Games.
Mhm.
Um,
And we obviously have Timothy Thatcher versus Ciampa. I could very easily see this not ending clean here, but I definitely
I think
think
Ciampa. Yeah,
Ciampa is going over because they eventually, I think, are going to get him a title match, whether it is against either Finn or whoever is a North American champion too. So I think that's probably where they're going. And is there? I think. Oh yeah, and there is it.
strap match.
Yeah, yeah. The
Uh,
strap match: Loomis versus
I
um
think Loomis. I think Loomis.
versus some shitface.
His name's
Um,
Cameron Grimes. Get it right.
Shitface.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I'll.
be. He's gonna go to the moon. Damn it.
Yeah, I'll be stunned if Dexter does and win this match. Look, like he's one of the few guys, Matt, that I would say like that. I won't. I don't think he should ever be a AM champion. Like he's that kind of a character. He's
I. Th-
that like
yeah,
he's that like Y character to where like he doesn't really need a title since his character is so strong right
I
now.
think. I think. He has a title. I think it just should be a mid card title. Um, I think a North American title, or I think would be okay. But yeah, I think Dexter Loomis is more. Yeah, you don't want to beat him too much.
No,
Um,
absolutely. But
uh,
I do see him going over here.
and then
And
last but not least, North American Championship: Ruff versus Gargano versus Priest.
yeah, this one think like Rupp is going to scrape by somehow. I'm not exactly sure how, but I did feel like he's going to retain the title by some means
But I think,
necessary.
yeah, I think it's either he wins or the Scream people, Ghost
Right.
Faces help, and Johnny wins. I don't think Damien. I don't think Damien wins. I don't think
As
he's.
long as he doesn't get pinned, I'll be happy.
I,
But
I think though. I think the two people taking the possible pin is Johnny and Leon.
yeah,
Um,
like to me, those two guys should be eating the pin and not Damien Priest. Because to me, Priest, he needs to be elevated a, a, a little bit more. I feel how like just I would like them to see him do something else here, and because he's been kind of involved in the like North American title picture for quite some time now. Would like to maybe do him versus Finn as a possibility too. So it's just like we'll
yeah,
kind of see
yeah.
see what
It's
happens
in
there.
it to finish off this.
Yeah.
I it's one of those things that I expect Johnny to win just with the interference because
Yeah.
you don't want to like damage the credibility of whoever is helping him,
Yeah.
not helping unless I don't know. It's a tough, but I'll just be sake of different. Even though I kind of do feel Leon could scrape by.
Mhm.
I mean they've always been kind of doing that leading up to it. Um, I don't I just I don't know. This is one's a tough one for me. Just to be different, I'll say Johnny.
Yeah.
With,
And
with just
yeah.
a bunch of shenanigans to help him because
Right,
it's really not really a DQ.
right.
But easily see Leon Ross scraping by somehow. Just like you think Johnny's gonna win, but like something happens. Um, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and that will pretty much do it here, guys. For this live stream, and as I said before, we are definitely are going to be planning on doing a NXT War Games live stream. We will keep you guys up to date as far as when we go go live, but also
shortly thereafter the show
yeah,
is we have like
right.
10-ish,
Yeah,
10:30. I don't want because they're not really that long.
yeah, but also our episode 69 will be dropping tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We discuss NFL, HBO Max, just basically giving us all of the freaking
Warner Brothers movies.
Warner Brothers films, like Mandalorian, so on and so forth. So yeah, so
Last week's
just
episode of Mandalorian, now this week's episode, which
yeah,
another newsworthy episode too, but we'll get to that next week. We're always a week behind.
For sure. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we shall see you on like Sunday. For Matt and for John, see you later.